So from here, feet on hips, put in the shallow lasso, use the foot on the hip to cut that angle. So once I extend this over and I get into my whole position and I find this, if it's a flexibility thing, you can make the triangle first and then come inside. If that makes sense. So now when I start to come up and get a shoulder towards the mat, if Carl goes wet and noodle on his arm and it's loose, and I'm coming up and my legs are loose, I'll be doing this all day, I'm not going to get it. We talked about putting tension in the arm. I'm going to be pinching my knees together, straightening my legs, and putting a lot of tension in that limb. Anytime I put tension in the limb, it's a lot easier submitted. So if you're coming in real relaxed and there's space between your knees and your legs are relaxed, you'll be stretching here all day, you're not going to get it. You've got to be putting tension in that limb. Obviously, if I'm not getting it, that second option of finding this arm and starting to bring it behind is another route to go down. So we looked at this, the hip bump omoplata sweep earlier in the mesocycle. We'll show you how we finished it, and then we'll show you an alternative. So I could be playing the whole game. I'm playing my lasso. We'll do the deep lasso entry. So I find that collar, foot's coming under. So this time, instead of going shallow, I bring my foot all the way under and I put the sole of my foot in Carl's lat. And that's from here when I grab the collar and breaking Carl's posture. As I find the tricep, kick that through, and we're into our omoplata position. But Carl stays on his feet, so we showed you how to switch from a thumb up grip with my right hand to a thumb down grip with my left hand. And then we brought my foot inside, I'm on the ball of the foot, pointing my left toe to the mat, and the idea was I was keeping this arm in my hip, so Carl's arm didn't come out. If it does come out, it's no problem. We have armbar alternatives, which we'll look at later. So from there, I just lift my hip, over, switch my control from left to right. Hand goes beside the hip, and then from there we showed you lots of alternatives. I can control the elbow, re-roll over my left shoulder, look to get Carl down, and then we're into again. So, playing the game, collar and sleeve, put in that deep lasso. Once I break Carl's head down lower than his hips, I can find the tricep, kick through, switch grip, come up on an elbow, foot comes under, ball of the foot goes in the mat, and then I'm pointing my left toe down and I physically lift my hip. Control, foot. The other alternative we looked at was back stepping with my right leg. Coming down again into the omoplata, finding that far armpit, coming up, and you can start to put tension in the arm. So, for those that haven't been doing jiu-jitsu that long, or anyone that doesn't want a dislocated shoulder, just stick with that one. The other alternative is, I can kind of go for a shoulder lock again using my legs. So from our collar and sleeve, I could be putting in my deep lasso, getting Carl's head below his hips, then I can let go, find the tricep, kick through, and when I cut that angle and switch my grip from my right to my left, I'm going to physically lock my triangle and put my foot behind the back of Carl's knee or leg. Okay, so it's very similar to the last one, only now I've actually made a triangle and I've made a connection with my right foot, L shape, behind the Carl's left Achilles. Now, when you go for this, you'll lose it if you don't keep control of Carl's left foot. So keep your foot L shape. Okay? And now from here, I'm just going to lift my hip and do the same move. We're going to end up here. Okay? Now, Carl ends up in a seated position with his back off the mat. For me to finish, I'm just coming up on my elbow. I'm extending. Okay? It's on as you roll. You need to be very careful with this. So a little bit of comparison would be recommended. So again, from feet on hips guard, I'm going to find that collar, hip out, put in my deep lasso, and then from there I'll break Carl's posture, getting his head below his hips. Now I can let go of the sleeve and find the tricep. kick through. And again, as I come over, I may want out of position, car stays standing, which means I'm looking for the sweep. So I switch to a thumb down grip. Now we can just come over for the sweep, coming up and doing this, but another option if I want to roll straight into the submission is I will make the triangle first and put my foot behind the back of Carl's heel. Okay? Now when I lift my hips and come for the hip bump, it's all about that connection. When you lift your hip, you want to keep your foot behind the back of his leg and roll over. Okay? Now, I still keep that grip the whole time. To get the submission, I just need to come up and get my head as high as Carl's and straighten my legs. And it's even tighter than the first one. Okay? One more time on that. So, from feet on hips guard, I'm going to find that collar. I'm going to put in the deep lasso. So L shape my foot, it goes in his lat. Break his posture. Find the tricep. Kick through. As I switch into my omoplata position, I switch my grip from thumb up, right hand, thumb down, left hand, coming up at my elbow. Make my triangle and physically put my foot behind the back of Carl's heel. Be careful that that foot's L shape, because when we were playing with it earlier, kept losing that control. And now I just do the move. My goal is when I hip bump him and I stay connected to him, I keep that foot elevated. Alright? And now from there I'm just building a base, stretching it to get the shoulder.